Hi guys, welcome to my channel or welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be doing the second episode in a series that I started back in October, and that is the 6 Queens of Henry VIII books recommended to them. I previously did Catherine of Aragon, and now is for Anne Boleyn, finally. Before I really get into it, I just want to say my inspiration for this obviously came from Six the Musical and wanting to learn about all the history of the wives. However, this is based on what I think the queens, as their actual personalities and their actions, would suggest that they might like. This is based on my actual research that I have done looking up the queens and what happened to them throughout their lives and things that they have done and things that they may or may not have liked, and trying to match up books in that way. I actually just started watching The Tudors a few days ago, and by a few days ago I mean yesterday, but it inspired me to finally film the second part of this series, so I'm super excited to jump right into it. The first book that I would recommend to Anne Boleyn is Voices: The Final Hours of Joan of Arc by David Eliot. This obviously is about another very notable woman in history, as Anne is a very notable woman in history, but that is Joan of Arc. They both come from French influence, and they both kind of wrongfully died. And while Voices is leading up to the execution and then retribution of Joan of Arc, I feel that this is something that Anne really would have enjoyed to read, because it seems that Anne really enjoyed learning and reading, and especially about strong women, and I think that she would really enjoy this. The second book I would recommend to Anne Boleyn is Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I was going back and forth between which Taylor Jenkins Reid book to recommend to her, and I thought that Daisy Jones and the Six was ultimately the best move, because while I think The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo would have fit, the Daisy Jones and the Six fits a little better with the whole Henry and Anne kind of quarrel dynamic. They're both kind of fighting for the spotlight. They both like being in the spotlight, as do Billy and Daisy in this book, and I think both of their relationships are kind of very similar, as obviously in this book Billy has a wife when he meets Daisy, as Henry had a wife when he met Anne, but look how that one worked out. I'm not spoiling this for you, I promise, if you haven't read it yet. But I just thought that it was something that kind of matched what Anne had to deal with on the day-to-day, not as far as like obviously being a rock star, but the high maintenance of being someone up in the world and of being around people that kind of fought with you all the time and that you butt heads with, that kind of thing. So that is why I chose Daisy Jones and the Six to recommend to Anne. The next book is one that I could not possibly not recommend for this particular one, because if you've watched any of my tags or anything that I did for Six the Musical, for the Six the Readathon, I associate this book so heavily with Anne Boleyn, and that is The Diviners by Libba Bray. Anne was described to be very outspoken, and she obviously climbed a social ladder up to being queen, and that is something that in this book and following books the main character Evie does in The Diviners. These two just seem to fit together so well, and I think it's kind of like, if you like one you'll like the other. If you like Anne Boleyn you should like Evie. I think Evie's a little more controversial than Anne Boleyn is, as far as that goes. Maybe not, I don't really know, but they're both kind of a controversial females. They both climbed a ladder and they both played a game. They were both outspoken and just unapologetic, and I absolutely love both of them. So that is why I recommend The Diviners to Anne. The next book I want to recommend to Anne Boleyn is Prince Charming by Rachel Hawkins. This is just kind of to break up all the more serious and fantasy books and kind of put in a cute, light, fluffy book that I think that she would really enjoy. The whole kind of getting into a royal lifestyle through your sister even, because Anne Boleyn originally, her sister was the king's mistress before Anne married him, and it just seems like a good fit. I also think that Anne and Daisy have a few things in common, not as much as Anne and Evie, but a few things. Daisy from this book, not Daisy Jones and the Six. I just realized there are 2 main characters named Daisy in the books that I'm recommended to her. It's fine. But I think that this would just be a nice, cute, fluffy read for Anne if she were still alive today. And the final book that I want to recommend to Anne Boleyn is The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. Don't get me wrong, I like Anne like bounds more than I like Jude. I really dislike Jude as a character. However, there is a certain air in linking them together. They do seem similar in the like almost conniving way that Anne made it to the top like Jude made it to the top, like Jude wants to do in The Cruel Prince. And I really think that she would enjoy, Anne would enjoy this series as kind of a like seeing how Jude fights her way to the top, being a mortal in the Fae world. And they are both driven women who want to make it to the top no matter what, and they are willing to play the game, play the long game to make it where they want to go. They aren't taking any shortcuts, they're putting the work in, and they are here for what they want and what they want only. And I think that just kind of links them together in a way that is undeniable almost. So those are the books that I recommend for Anne Boleyn. Let me know what you thought of this video, what you think of these recommendations for Anne Boleyn, who your favorite queen is. I know mine is yet to come, but let me know all that stuff down in the comments below, like what queen you're most excited for coming up, all of that. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys sometime for a new one. Bye!